If you have any questions today, please feel free to post them in the Q&A or in the chat. At Brent Floating Farms, we are at the forefront of an agricultural revolution, leveraging the untapped potential of our waterways to create a sustainable, resilient, and highly productive farming system. Our innovative approach to controlled environment agriculture combines cutting-edge aquaponics technologies with the renewable energy sources to cultivate high-quality produce with minimal environmental impact. I'm Leanne, the CEO of Brent Floating Farms, and one thing I love about our team is we bring many different skills to the table, complementing each other. I have lots of experience in business running sales teams, marketing teams, and strong cross-functional leadership. Also on the call today, we have Frank.
Well, thanks, Leanne. I'm Frank Brent. I'm a co-founder of Brent Floating Farms and Chief Operating Officer. My strong points are automation, manufacturing of our container systems, engineering, and I'll be responsible for the day-to-day operations. I have a unique qualification for this endeavor because of my Navy career and my family's background in the maritime industry.
Also on this call today, we have Cinda.
Thank you, Leanne. I'm Cinda Brent, a co-founder and Chief Administrative Officer. I am a creative, out-of-the-box thinker. I self-describe as a teamwork chameleon, and what I mean when I say that is that I often adapt or mold into the task or skill that is needed within the group. I also might be known as the crazy chicken lady with over 30 years of experience pampering poultry. In the office, I'm passionate about advertising, marketing, graphic arts, and HR.
Food insecurity is a problem that governments and organizations across the world struggle to find solutions for. This is an issue that doesn't just affect families globally, but also families right here at home in the United States. Contributing causes include higher food prices and, in some cases, a supply that doesn't quite meet demands. Frank and Cinda know all too well about the struggles of farmers getting their produce to market.
Well, yes, Leanne, we do. Let's define our problem. Our problem is that ugly produce just doesn't sell. With 40% loss in an average dirt farming situation, that's pretty a hard pill to swallow. I mean, that's just a lot of waste. If you go over to the organic side of things, it's 70% loss, and so you can understand why organic produce is so expensive in the store. Well, that's one of the many problems that we've solved, and major contributing factors to that are weather and pest pressure. So that was our big concentration, was to find out how we could mitigate those losses. And so our systems are the solution. Our aquaponic containers will grow the produce in there, and we have controlling all the inputs. We control the temperature, humidity, the amount of light, the timing on the light, the nutrients, everything else. And so that allows us to grow anywhere from 30 to 50% more produce per square foot. And then, of course, we multiply that because we grow vertically instead of horizontally. So we're also working on different types of alternate methods to power all of this. Everybody says, "Oh my goodness, there's so much power loss," but we're working with an engineering team and a marine engineering team to use geothermal loops, to use things like solar and wind, and possibly even some recycled plastics into diesel fuel. Lee?
Green, eco-friendly, and sustainable are all buzzwords that marketers love to use, and for us, we can back it up in our farming practices. The sustainable solutions market is rapidly growing, and consumers love these words because they do actually care about companies' impact on the environment, including the techniques used to grow food. People want produce with fewer chemicals but still retain high quality. Consumers want to know that achieving that perfect produce doesn't just sacrifice the world their kids will inherit. In 2023, the sustainable product market generated $150 billion, and at a 14% rate of growth is expected to reach over $500 billion in 2027. There are numerous companies that offer sustainable solutions. However, they tend to use hydroponics compared to aquaponics. Where hydroponics uses chemical fertilizers to feed the plants, aquaponics creates a symbiotic relationship between fish and plants. We aren't just growing food, but creating an ecosystem that will take some of the waste byproducts, and our system transforms them into something entirely new and usable. Frank, can you describe how our ecosystem works?
Yes, ma'am, I can. Our circular agriculture ecosystem uses aquaponics, which is a symbiotic relationship between plants and fish. We feed our fish black soldier fly larvae, as a matter of fact. We feed them black soldier fly larvae, and which we generate on board or at shore using organic waste. And the grubs are incredibly nutritious for the fish. Anyway, so we feed our fish, and then the effluent water is now dirty, and it gets sent through our bioreactor, which converts fish waste into plant food. And so then we send this plant food and water up to our plants. They filter it and send it back to the fish as clean water. I mean, it's almost potable. It's an incredible process. And then we also have other things going on. We have those black soldier fly that we talked about. The grubs make great food for our quail and our chickens. And so then we can generate eggs. Also, their waste, after they've broken it down, is a fertilizer. It's a very good fertilizer. And we grow mushrooms in that. And then we turn around and sterilize it, and we sell it to consumers for a soil amendment for their personal gardens. So you can see there's really no waste. And what little waste we do get from our plants, think tomato vines, the root masses from whatever, lettuce or tomatoes or whatever, that all gets degraded and eaten up by the black soldier fly larvae feeding them. So that's how we do this. Lee, back to you.
Here are a couple of our competitors who are larger growers using hydroponics with several facilities across multiple states. AppHarvest is traded on the NASDAQ. You may be wondering why we don't have any aquaponics companies listed here, and that's because none of the aquaponics companies have achieved the scale that these competitors have and that we will. A lot of the aquaponics systems are geared towards specialty markets and only grow one type of produce. Our circular agriculture creates efficiencies in both the variety of products we will produce and in the reduced external inputs required by the system. This gives us a level up on the competition. That's why we are seeking to raise $10 million and offering up to 400 membership interests in Brent Aquaponics Labs. We are seeking accredited investors for our Reg D offering, and the minimum investment is $25,000, and in turn, the investors will receive 20% of the profits. Brent Aquaponics Labs is our land-based division that will retrofit the shipping containers with our aquaponics systems and run our initial farms. This business unit and the infrastructure within generates revenue through selling produce such as leafy greens, spices, celery, and tomatoes, among other things, from those first farms. Brent Aquaponics Labs will also generate revenue when we expand to additional farming locations, either on land or at sea. Of that $10 million, 34% of it will go to the land and the facilities. We need enough land to house the operating farms, as well as the manufacturing facilities to retrofit those containers. By retrofitting them ourselves, compared to buying new, we can better control the specifications of each container and make sure they perfectly meet our needs. Additionally, having another company manufacture them would cost twice as much as doing it in-house. While this does create a larger upfront cost, the long-term savings really adds up. 30% of the money raised will go to acquire the containers. 24% will be to hire the team to accomplish all of this. We have collaborated with the University of Arkansas on various studies related to determining the best growing conditions for our produce, and we will continue to perform research that will improve yields, as well as potentially increase the variety of fruits and veggies that we offer. That commitment to continual process improvement is another way we will have a leg up on the competition, ensuring that our practices remain at the forefront of technological innovation. We expect to be profitable in mid-year 2, with revenues exceeding $54 million by year 3. The investor pool receives 20% of the distributable funds, which means at our projected revenue in year 2, the investor pool would receive just over $2 million, resulting in an ROI of 21%. Keep in mind, we become fully profitable partway through year 2. So in year 3, when we have a full year of profitability, that ROI jumps up to 43%. That's a lot of produce and allows us to not only feed a lot of people, but provide a generous expected return on investment for our investors as well. This business unit will continue to generate revenue and return on investment long into the future. And the best part is that's just the beginning. Once our land-based operations are up and going, we will be in a great position to support expansion to the sea. By putting our container farms on a ship and taking it offshore, we can further reduce insect pressure compared to our land operations. This also opens up additional transportation options and new markets, since we can move the farm to where we can command the best prices. We will continue our focus on creating environmentally friendly ecosystems and minimizing our impact on the land or the sea. So I hope you will join us on our journey and help feed the world together. Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about the investment opportunity, please visit our website, brentfloatingfarms.com, where you can schedule a call with us. I think I saw that people posted questions already, but if you haven't posted your questions, please feel free to post them in either the Q&A or the chat.
I see
All
that we have
right.
3
Yeah, I think
questions in the chat.
Yeah, I think the first question is a good one for you, Frank. Why are you doing this, and what makes you think that you can pull this off?
Wow. Why am I doing it? Because we need it. I mean, the world needs this technology. The world needs to do this. We're losing farms at an incredible rate every day. There's so many new people in the world, wars and famines and climate change and everything else, all the things that are happening, the desalination or dilution of our oceans, plastics. There's all sorts of things in why I'm doing it. Now, can I pull it off? Absolutely. I have no question in my mind. First off, I've done it. We took this and we've been researching it for years. We put it together. We put it in front of a team of people that we respect, and they beat it to death. And we've gone back and forth for the last 7 years with research doing what we're doing. So I think unequivocally we can pull this off without any problems. So it looks like the next one is, do you have contracts for your produce? I would say what we would call soft contracts. Roush is a fairly large South Louisiana, South Texas, South Mississippi. It's not quite into Arkansas yet, but they're a big grocery store chain down in Louisiana. And I've met with them actually twice, and they're very receptive. The big thing is that I don't have enough produce yet to go into their market. We have provided locally in Northeast Arkansas several contracts. We've actually provided grocery stores and restaurants and things like that with produce. And also our eggs, our chicken eggs. We're currently a regional brand. We just bought a regional brand of eggs, and we're expanding that, and that will fit into our realm as well. Let's see. The next question is, do you know what the total addressable market, TAM, is for this industry? Wow. No, I don't. And I'll be honest with you. It depends on where you're talking about. If you're talking about in the United States, it's in the low billions, probably around 3 to 5 billion. If you go worldwide, which is our intention, worldwide, it's probably $1 trillion. Food is $1 trillion industry. We all know that. I mean, it's an incredible amount. Everybody's got to eat. They may not have to do anything else, but everybody's got to eat. An exit. Yes, we eventually plan an exit. But why? I mean, I intend to retire at some point, not anytime soon, hopefully. But I do intend to retire. As far as investors go, if your money's making great money, why would you want to change that? But certainly there'll be other rounds, I'm sure. Automation is another question. What kind of automation are you planning on implementing? If you studied the challenges of the industry, labor is always the top of the operational expenses and the top reason that CEA farms fail. And that's absolutely correct, Eric. Thank you for pointing that out. Labor is always a killer. The difference is in these containers, it's incredibly dense. And so it doesn't take as many people to do the same amount of work. Also, we don't have any external bad inputs. We don't have pests. We don't have to wash the produce to get the pests off of it. You're I won't say it's a sterile environment because it's not, but it's certainly pretty close to being controlled. And so that will cut down on our costs a little bit too, I think. We definitely use automation. We use programmable logic controllers to control everything. Again, we can control every single input. The duration of the lighting, the timing of the lighting, the intensity of the lighting. Everything can be controlled that way. And we plan on using a certain amount of AI to improve our techniques, which also should interest people in that realm. Roadblocks. Yeah, there's always roadblocks. We have been working with USDA and FDA on certifications. Most of them are in organic certification and what's allowed and what's not allowed. But I've been in on that since probably 5 or 6 years ago, working with USDA on those parameters. So there are some roadblocks there. There could be some issues, possibly maritime issues that we can or cannot produce in this particular market because it's an economic zone or whatever. So there are some legal potential obstacles that could affect where we operate, not how we operate, but where we operate and who we operate with. For an example, in the United States coastal waters, we have to maintain a certain amount of crew that's American crew due to the Jones Act. And so that's something that we see a lot of times. So as far as roadblocks, those are the ones that I would see. There's also, let me go back to the customers and contracts. I talked about Roush's Grocery. We also have the city of New Orleans has contacted me about providing produce under contract to all of the public schools. And I had no idea, but did anybody know that they have 12,000 schools in New Orleans general area? I was just flabbergasted. I'm also a disabled veteran. I don't know if anybody knows that or not, but I'm also a disabled veteran, and that allows me a heads up and a shoe in into all of the commissaries and all of the bases around the nation and overseas. So that will allow me to sell produce direct or through a distributor that handles that. Just on the East Coast, there's 254 commissaries for the military. So I think that about does it as far as those questions. Anybody got any more questions or comments or anything like that? Lee?
Yeah, we got some more questions in the Q&A. And one of the questions is, will we be desalinating seawater and at what cost?
Yes, we'll be desalinating seawater. Reverse osmosis is what we will use. We will probably use that even on shore, just to take any bad chemicals out of the water that we don't want there. It's not expensive. Reverse osmosis has really come down in price. It's much better than the old desalination of a boiler system and making distilled water. So yes, we will do that. And it's not, anyway, that's there.
Yeah, another question that we got is, have we thought about doing it as a co-op to attract pre-orders in online business?
I haven't. I haven't really thought about making it like a franchise. I assume that's what you're talking about. So I really hadn't tried to go down that road. We are certainly going to make and manufacture containers for Brent Floating Farms chips, which each one will be its own LLC. And so we will be producing continuously out of our factory. We will be producing containers.
And to add on to that, I can see where we would eventually sell produce through a website rather than just business to business, particularly so that way we can reach a broader audience of consumers. All right. I think we've just got a couple of minutes left. Frank, this might be a good one for you. Do we have a rendering of what our system looks like? I mean, I know I've seen the prototypes in action, but do we have any renderings? I know we've got pictures of the actual system.
I don't. I don't have any renderings. I have architectural drawings that I've done and things like that show, that show the containers or ships or anything else, and a lot of the systems in it. But I haven't actually done an artist rendition. The closest that we've had is on our website, as far as some of the pictures that we have in there. That's some of the different kinds of things that we do. But actual artist rendering, no.
I think that is all the questions that we've had today. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Please reach out to us at info@brentfloatingfarms.com if you have any further questions that we did not get a chance to cover on this webinar, or if you would like next steps on becoming an investor. Have a great day, everybody.